Hey guys, Shane here. I've got two really big announcements that I'm going to bring to you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Watch all these butterflies. Ready? Here we go. I'm literally like in a monarch colony. You see them? Look at them all. Cool. Try not to disturb them. Folks, I gotta walk right through here. See if we can get a good shot of one. Isn't that neat? Alright guys, well you know that I love this Firebox Nano. You've seen me use it plenty of times. This is the Generation 2 that I keep in this case here. And you guys know all about the 5-inch folding firebox. But do you know about the new 5-inch folding firebox Gen 2? You're about to. Alright guys, so let's take a look for a moment at this. This is the original 5-inch folding firebox from Firebox Stoves. Okay guys? Now, this has been a trusted stove by a lot of people. Everybody likes this stove. I'm trying to keep it out of the sand, so bear with me. Everybody likes this stove. You can't find a single person who's used this stove that won't tell you exactly how exceptional it really is. But, here comes the big but. Just to show you how much versatility Firebox Stove has, they've listened to their customers and they've come along with the Gen 2. I'm going to show you guys a couple changes, modifications that they've made to the stove, just so you guys can see in comparison what we're working with here. I'm going to pull out the fire sticks here. I'm going to open it up. Right away, as soon as I open it, you see a big difference. On the expansion plate, you see a nice cutout. So, let's open it up the rest of the way. Take a look and see what we got here. On the very bottom of the stove, looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Let's compare the two, shall we? See what's different here? They've added an expansion plate on the inside there, and they added a center hole for the Swedish fire torch. Now, the expansion plate plays in part just like the side expansion plates do over here. Okay, excuse the sand. Basically, this is the hot zone in the stove. Okay, guys, this is the hot zone. So one thing you can never ever say about the folding firebox is that it warps. Unlike a lot of other stoves out there, unfortunately, a lot of them do warp. And you guys know I have messed and I have played with a lot of stoves because I love them. But this stove is a beast. A lot of it plays in part because of this genius idea. While this gets hot here, it expands, okay? But this, which is a lot colder, it doesn't expand, so it expands inside of this webbing. It's brilliant. The same exact thing right down there in the bottom. It's an expansion plate on the very bottom. Okay, now let's look at a couple other options that you have now. You see that right there? That is for the Trangia stove. That'll give you the 1-inch sweet spot that we all know so much about when you're using a Trangia. So, as you can see here on the older version, there is not one. Here's the other Trangia spot. So they've now added another. Also, something that's really cool that I'm really excited to use is they've modified this piece here to this piece here. Okay, once again, we'll compare it. To make a fire damper. So, when you flip this upside down, you slide it in, okay? Excuse the sand. You can now take one of your fire sticks, put it in here like so. Got my fire stick stuck. Okay, like this. You take this other fire stick, you slide it right underneath there. All the way through. So now, as I'm cooking, I now have a damper. Let me see if I can turn it the other way here to show you guys. See on the inside of the stove there? That's pretty sweet. Another mod that they're working on is they're going to make these too wide. So that way you can put 2 fire sticks in here instead of 1 per side, because most people, I'm going to say about 90% of the people that buy these always buy another set of fire sticks because they're so darn handy. Okay, guys? Now, of course, this model has singles. And you ask why. That is because this is a pre-production model. This is something that Firebox Stoves has sent me to show off to everybody. Okay? Now, I think a really cool thing about this is that even when the other fireboxes come out, this one is one of the first. These right here, which is kind of cool to say, they were they were hand filed by Steve Despain. That's awesome. All right. And brings me to the next big change. You're looking right at it. What is that? Are those side feed holes? Yes, yes they are. Now, I want to show you something really cool. If you look at them, they're offset. Alright, now it's just like the Nano, they're offset for a reason. And I'll show you right here with these two sticks. Alright, you put one stick in here, like so, and it leans down, right? So when you grab another stick to feed in here, it's going to be setting at an angle. Alright? And when it's going to be setting at the angle, in this other side, the heat is going to travel up the stick when it's in the stove. I wanted to turn it so you guys could see it better. But it's going to be traveling up the stick. It's going to create a hotter burn. They really, really, really put a lot of thought into this. Now, guys, this is just what I'm showing you from opening the package. Now, there's going to be a lot of other options out there for this stove that you're going to be able to do, because one thing Firebox Stove didn't do is they didn't do these side feed holes like a lot of other companies did. But this right here just goes to show you that even though this stove isn't flexible, and we know that, the people of Firebox are extremely flexible, and they want to give you guys what you're asking for. So, now that we have the stove out, there's one thing left to do, baby. That's right. Let's give this sucker its first burn, shall we? I'm pretty impressed and I'm pretty intrigued about how this Swedish fire torch is going to work. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Now, I couldn't find any wood here that was large enough to actually fill the 5-inch box. And if you see what I'm doing, I'm putting the center of my torch right there, right around that center hole, because I really want that center hole to pull the air through. I'm also gonna probably, well, I want to try to use that damper setup. I think that's gonna be really cool. So let me get the setup. It's hard to do with one hand, and I'm gonna set the damper up also so I can use that. See how she works out for us. Okay, so since I didn't exactly have a big enough log that I found, the pieces that I cut off, I can wedge down in here in the bottom on the sides. It'll help hold my torch up. Which is fine, because it's just really going to give me a lot of stability inside of there. These are the pieces that I cut off of out of my beater. Alrighty, now what I'm going to use to light this fire is I'm going to use something that my buddy Bob 808 Night sent me. I'm going to open up my fire starter kit here. Because I'm going to use, that's right, an egg drop fire starter. Just a piece of it from Bob 808 Night. How cool is that? I'm going to open it up a little bit. I don't want it to go out. One of my pieces of wood is stopping it. There we go. Alright. Now, it's going to take a little while for that to get started, get going, but that's all good. I'm going to set up this fire damper here on the side. I'm pretty excited to watch how this bad boy is going to work. It really, really excites me. Right now I'm going to leave it just a hair open, just because I want it to pull all that air in. I got to thank them for making these holes actually wide enough that you can do this while you're working with a hot stove. Because I wasn't quite ready, or I should have been ready, but I wasn't. But point in case is that I was able to do that. Alright, I'm going to pull the damper open, let the air come on in. As you can see, watch the fire. It's neat. Since I have some other fire sticks already, I will be able to use them up here on the top. Because if I'm going to be out here checking out a stove, I'm going to have to make me a brew. Alright guys, I've never used the Swedish fire torch personally, but I don't know if you can hear that or not. You hear how much air the stove is sucking? That's awesome. It's literally the middle of this fire, right in the center of this torch. It's awesome. It's like a little jet. It's really pulling the air from that center hole, which is really cool. Smoke's gonna come my way. I think it's cool. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm fascinated by it because that is a hot fire. And I can feel the heat off it. It's pretty cool. So let's close this damper up. Let's see if how this fire dies down. Wow. Yes, it does. How freaking awesome is that? Now let's see what happens. Ready? Man, that's cool. That is awesome. You may not be able to hear it, but when I closed it, you know, the fire died down. But when I slid that open, man, that's cool. You can really hear it whipping around. Let's do it again. Yep, and there it goes. It's dying down. Man, that is cool. Alright, I'm just playing now. Look at that flame. Just letting the fire kind of do its own thing. But, you know, I wanted to point out a couple things to you guys. You know, I had gone ahead and just showed you everything from the visual aspect. And I told you guys here about the Trangia Modification. Now they kept the original one down here, but they moved it up. That gives you the 1-inch sweet spot, like Hiram Cook mentions in his videos. Now these little feed ports down here, it's kind of like, you know, if you think about it, it's kind of like a breeze, you know, like they're stoking the fire. So that's pretty cool. I'm really liking this. I'm liking the mods that they made. I mean, I like the Firebox without the mods, okay? But I like the Firebox with the mods. I think that both stoves, you really can't go wrong with them. They have so much versatility. You know, this stove just adds just a little bit more versatility. So far, it's awesome. You know, here I am watching this stove burn, which to me it really just doesn't get much better than that if you're looking for relaxing time in the woods. But I told you before I'd never used this Swedish fire torch design. I don't know why. I've seen it done, you know, lots of times, especially from Firebox Stove videos, and I've just never done it. Now, it's been burning for quite some time now. I don't have my watch going, but I would probably say it's been going for at least 15 minutes. And I'm using a nice solid dense wood, as you can tell. And it's dang impressive. So this goes to show me right now that if I'm going to be doing some serious cooking, this is the way to go for me. I like this. Now, I do enjoy feeding a fire as well, so, you know, let's not get that wrong. You know, we like feeding fire. It's always cool. Why not feed a couple sticks in there, huh? Well, you guys know me, and you know I had to get a brew on, so I've got to have my tea. Especially if I'm doing a brand new burn on a stove. I gotta have the tea. That's a must. Oh yeah, this is great. So as my Swedish fire torch started to go down, which there's still plenty of wood in there, I just really wanted to feed some wood into the stove just to try these holes out, and man, they're cool. In fact, these ones that are sticking out here on the side, I had just stuck them in a couple minutes ago, and they're already blazing hot. They're already turned into some embers and some coals down in there to where I can keep on feeding them. Give you a better shot down inside there. Look at that stove. Man, that's cool. Alright guys, so many of you guys may or may not know, but I love to cook with a Canteen Cup, right? And I don't know how many of you guys have a Canteen Cup that you like to cook with, or how many of you guys love to cook with Canteen Cups, but if you own a firebox, or if you're going to own a firebox, or you want to, I want to show you something really cool. And this is what I think is cool. This Canteen Cup will fit perfect in there. Absolutely perfect. And another really cool thing is I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but the second set of holes down here, if you put the fire sticks down through them, you can put them in there flat. You can set this cup all the way down into the bottom, or all the way down as far as it'll go, and the edge of this firebox will reach that handle. Now I can't show you that right now because I did the Swedish fire torch, and I still got a lot of coals in there. It's amazing. This stove is awesome. Give you guys a clue on how well that feed system works. Look at this. Watch, as soon as I stick them in there, cool. That firebox is hot. Alright guys, well, that was my introduction to you of the 5-inch folding firebox Gen 2. Now, they're going to be doing a Kickstarter for this stove to get these suckers rolling out to you guys. So, starting on the 25th, 8 o'clock a.m. MDT, this Kickstarter is going to kick off. Now, if you go on over there and take a look at it, you're going to get some pretty awesome deals. Now, the earlier that you pledge, the better the deals are going to be. That's pretty awesome. Now, you're going to get deals on both the Gen 2 model, and if you just want to try out the Gen 1 model, right? There's nothing wrong with the original folding firebox at all. My son Keegan loves it so much that I would probably have to pry it out of his cold, dying hands before he would actually let me have it. Now, in celebration of the Kickstarter, Okay guys, we got to keep these things rolling. We got to keep these things moving. We want more stoves like this. So in celebration of that, Firebox didn't just send me one stove. Oh no. They sent me another, bam, in the case, Gen 2 pre-production Firebox stove. Now the cool thing about this is, one, you can win this, alright, before everybody else gets it. Two, you're helping out an awesome company. So share this video. You guys want this stove? Share this video. Share this video. Tell people to go over and take a look at Firebox. Take a look at their Kickstarter. And not only that, but this is also in celebration of my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So you have to be a subscriber of mine. Alright? You don't have to be a subscriber of mine to share, but you have to be a subscriber of mine to win. Alright? So all I need you to do, share the video, be one of my subscribers, let me know you shared it so I can get you down, alright? Tag me in the share or whatever so that way I know somehow, or message me, email me, whatever, so I know that you shared it. You share the video and you let people know about the Kickstarter for Firebox coming out the 25th, 8 o'clock a.m. MDT. You're in running for this bad boy right here. So, I'm going to drink my tea, I'm going to enjoy these woods, and enjoy the stove. I'm going to let it burn out. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and always, be safe, and we'll see you in the woods.